All right, everyone. So let's talk about floral foam. What is it? How to use it? Where to find it? I'm going to answer all of those questions right here. If you are an aspiring florist or if you just want to know where you can find the tools of a florist, well, I'm gonna tell you all you need to know, especially about floral foam. I'm gonna start over on this side. I wanna start by mentioning the floral foam is one of the easiest ways to give shape and structure to your floral arrangements. We're gonna be talking about that in the future, but in this video, I just wanted to share with you the types of floral foams and where to find them. I want to mention that our floral foam comes in different varieties of shapes and colors, especially if you are looking for wreath making, whether it's a funeral or there is a wedding, you want to do a gorgeous floral wreath for an entry door, you can find an excellent variety of wreath forms that are made out of floral foam, whether they are for silk flowers or also for fresh flowers. You can find them anywhere where they supply. All right, you guys, so let's talk about floral foam. What is it? How to use it? Where to find it? Well, I'm gonna answer all of those questions for you in this video. I wanted to share with you also a selection of floral foams and their uses in the floral industry. If you are wanting to become a floral designer or just learn the tips and the tricks of floristry, well, you are at the right place. I'm gonna start over on this side by mentioning the floral foam comes in a variety of shapes and sizes. In the wedding world and in the funeral world, we are used to using different varieties of wreath forms, what we call made out of floral foam. This is a dry floral foam, which means that it's going to be made for a smaller silk wreath, right? It can also be a candle ring, but it is a smaller size. However, you can find a variety of shapes, sizes, and also whether it is for a fresh flower wreath or a silk flower wreath. They're made out of hearts and circles and stars and crosses. You can find an excellent variety at Shinoda Design Center and also at other floral supply stores like Hobby Lobby, and I think even Walmart has them. But if you are wanting to do a fresh flower wreath, then you have to get a fresh flower wreath foam wreath form. Just make sure that you know that because you cannot insert fresh flowers into this dry material. All right, so that's number one, your wreath forms. Number two, I want to talk about the variety of foams like this one right here. This is a green foam that is made out of styrofoam. This is perfect for silk floral arrangements, and it comes also in white. This is a really good material where you would need all of your pick machine and your picks. We talked about all of the tools in our last video, so I really recommend you check it out if you want to know what tools do you need to become a designer. You can find these particular sizes of foam on your local craft stores like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and then also even the dollar store. I always tell you not to spend a lot of money on your mechanics because they're going to be hidden anyways. So if you can find something like this for $1, you can always size them up and to do an arbor or an arch, or even for your centerpieces, you can cover it with moss. So you have this particular variety right here. Now there also this candlestick form that goes on a candlestick. You can use it like this, or I call it the Reese's Pieces Buttercup foam, and it's also made out of that styrofoam. That also you need a really heavy duty wire stem to poke through it, or your pick machine and your steel picks. So that comes in all of those sizes. Moving on with the same silk florals, we're gonna talk about this other particular foam right here. This is made more of a material that really releases a lot of dust. So I always tell people to keep it in the little plastic bag that comes through. This is a lot easier to poke through, so you don't need as a heavy duty of a floral to poke through it, and it really does hold the flowers. However, this is also $1, so you just keep in mind that you get what you pay for, right? These are all good, but my favorite one right here is this right here, you guys. This is a dessert, they call it dessert foam. This is my favorite. It also comes in these blocks. There's 4 blocks right here. It's the gray florist foam. You can find this at any craft store. It has more of a density where you can poke and the flowers are really going to stay there, but it doesn't really have to be as heavy duty as this kind right here. So I always recommend this. You know, I even plant my Christmas tree on a pot, and this is the type of foam that I use, and the Christmas tree and the all years that I've done, it has never fallen out. And then also, I also use this in wedding work. If I'm doing silk arches, or if I'm doing a beautiful runner going down the aisle, this is the type of foam because it really has a lot of grip power and it will keep the flowers in place. So that's another one. All right, so now let's talk about the mother of all floral foams, and it's this guy right here. This is very thick. You can cut it into pieces. It comes in these sheets right here, but you can cut it into pieces to adjust to your container. This is perfect if you do silk arrangements for sale. It has a lot of density, and like I said, you would really need a heavy duty stem to poke through it, or your pick machine and your steel picks. As you guys can see, these are the same material right here. This is just cut into little squares. You know, they get like 1, 2, 3, a lot of these little squares for this big piece of sheet. But the beauty of this is that it comes also in different widths. As you guys can see right here, they come in different widths. And so you can find this foam at Shinoda Design Center. And they have all kinds of colors. They also have white and gray in that particular foam. So these are all the dry foams. Now let's talk about our fresh floral foam, and that is this guy right here. This is an Oasis. This is very sensitive to the touch, and the reason why is because when you soak this, it really absorbs so much water to keep your fresh flowers. And as you guys can see, it has these lines right here. That way you know exactly where to cut. And I'm gonna cut one right here with my knife. Talk to you guys on my tools. I always like to have a knife that is dull, and look how easy it is to cut. It just cuts like butter. Oh my gosh, it is so cool because this absorbs so much water, you guys. It will keep your flowers fresh for over a week by having this. You don't press it on the water, you just let it float, and it by itself absorb all of the water and keep your flowers fresh. Now this Oasis also produces this product right here, which is called Midnight. As this absorbs the water, it becomes darker, almost black, and it almost kind of disappears. So I really do recommend this if you're doing some wedding work but you're not using as many foliages and flowers, because the blackness of it really just makes all of those flowers pop from the stand, and it really just disappears. So I really recommend this, and it's made out of this. I'm treating this very delicately because you don't want to, like this piece right here, you don't want this to happen to it. So what I do is just like very delicately handle this foam until it is soaked in water. Remember, you just drop it in the bucket of water and let it sink by itself, because if you push it down, you're gonna create air bubbles. You're gonna force the water, you create air bubbles, and that will kill your flowers basically within the day. So you want to make sure that just let it absorb all of the water. All right, you guys, so these are all of the florist foams that are available. What do you think?